Hey everyone, Rose Brown, the accountant therapist here, and today I want to talk to you guys about the Form 1099-K. I know a lot of you have heard about it, whether that's on the news, chatters from your friends, emails, or you've actually gotten a copy and you're like, what is happening here? So let's talk about that today. I want to talk about what it is, what happens when you get it, what should you be doing, those sorts of things. Okay, because the thing is, this is a form that the IRS has been battling with for the past maybe 2 years or so, and they'll continue to do so maybe for the next 2 years until they get it to where they want it to be. So let's talk about what it is. A Form 1099-K is received by an individual who have sold goods or services to through a third party processing software. Now, that could be PayPal, that could be Cash App, that could be Square. So wherever you're selling your products and your services through, that processor will issue you a 1099-K, which will reflect your income activities from them or through them, right? So that's the first piece. Now, for the past 2 years, the IRS have been trying to get the threshold way down. Okay, but what I really want us to understand is what the history was before it even started getting to where it is now. Historically, the threshold for a person or before a person receives a 1099-K typically would be $200,000 stemmed from 200 transactions. So because the IRS felt like there was a lot getting lost in the weeds, people weren't reporting income when they actually earned it just because they didn't get a tax form. So what the IRS is saying that, hey, we're gonna lower that threshold from 200,000 to now 600. Their goal is to get to 600. But for 2023, they kept it at 200,000, but you still may have received a copy of a Form 1099-K, which again, I'm gonna address if you did receive one. Okay, but for 2023, they kept it at that $200,000 threshold, whereas for 2024, it will be $5,000, and then for 2025, it will be $600. So that's the magic here for the IRS in terms of the 1099-K. Now, if you've received a copy of this already, don't worry, it's okay. Just make sure that you take it to your tax preparer. They should know what to do. Okay, now when you receive this 1099-K, what I want to talk about it from is the perspective of if you were a business, if you sold your personal item, or maybe you just split a check with someone at a restaurant because you guys went out to eat, right? So those three areas I want to talk about. First, let's do the big one, which is businesses, right? So if you're a business, you're operating a business, you're selling your goods or your services, maybe it's a small business, something on the side, something you're not actively involved in as much, but you're doing it as you're doing something else, right? So if you're that individual and you've received a 1099-K, what's going to happen is you're going to have to report those activities along with your actual income tax return, right? So again, this is a situation where you're presenting it along with your other tax documents to your tax preparer, or if you're the person who does your own taxes, good luck. But again, if this is something foreign to you, do not try to do it yourself. Make sure you have a tax professional and ensure to let them know, hey, I received this because of this activity, right? This is if they don't know already. Okay. Now, if you have a business, definitely make sure that you're keeping track of your expenses, anything you incurred in an effort to sell your goods or your services. Okay. Now that's a business. If you are an individual who just sold your personal item, maybe it's a couch, your bed, you sold it. But of course you have to purchase it. So what you want to do is make sure that you keep track of whatever it is that you're selling through Facebook Marketplace, you're keeping track of how much you purchased it personally for. Okay, so maybe you purchased it for $1,000, but you sold it for $700. You'll get a 1099-K for $700. Okay, you will have to let the tax preparer know that, hey, I did purchase this for $1,000, so I shouldn't have to pay taxes on my $700, right? So make sure, again, everything dealing with it, that 1099-K, you're providing that to the tax preparer. Don't be alarmed if you receive this. Just know this is just protocol. That's what it is. And then lastly, if it's a situation where maybe you and your friend split a check, that's not a taxable event where you would pay taxes on the money that's showing up that you've received. right? So in that situation, you want to make sure that you identify or just point it out to the tax preparer, hey, we just split a bill. This is nothing crazy, or we split the Uber charge, whatever it may have been. When you receive a 1099K, the first thing you want to do is identify why you received it. Were you a business? Were you a person just selling your personal item, or did you split a check with a friend? Okay, once you've identified, then we need to determine, okay, what did I incur in an effort to receive this, right? So if you're a business, you have your business expenses. If you are selling your personal item, you have the cost in which it costs you to get that item, right? And then if it's just for splitting a check, again, identify that maybe on your credit card statement, whatever it is, let them know that, hey, we just split a bill, I'm good. So that's really what the talk is about the 1099K. If you do receive one, don't be alarmed. Just make sure that you present it alongside your other tax documents. Do not throw it in the trash. Don't think to yourself, I've never gotten this before, so I don't need it, or don't freak out just because you got it. Just make sure that you identify what it is for or why you received it, and then just let your tax preparer know. You're gonna be okay. I know this is an area where a lot of people they're panicking, right? Because they've never received it before. It's a foreign document for them. So just make sure that you make a note of this. If you know of anyone, your friend, your family who sell through PayPal, Cash App, those sorts of places, just let them know, hey, here's an alert, an awareness of what could potentially or what will be happening over the next 2 years.